In this tutorial, I create a stylized contact form. The contact form is interactive, so when we click in these fields, we get this bigger outline right here, just showing where we are. When we click this send button, it goes down a little bit, get a sort of 3D effect there. And if we click on it, it gets sent off to the right, and we get this confirmation message, your message has been sent. This form is submitted through Ajax, and that's how we have no refreshing going on here. And also we're going to use PHP to send the email to my email account. So let's take a look at the code we used to do this. So it's HTML5, including my style sheet here. We're linking to Google's copy of jQuery, and we have our own script.js. Inside the marker, we have everything wrapped inside this wrapper div, and our form here is held inside this div with an ID of form holder. And what we're going to do is we're going to animate this, and the margin left is going to be increased so that it's sent off the screen in that sort of animated fashion. And I don't think there's anything too much special here. At the end, I include an audio tag, and we're using this as a hook. We're going to use JavaScript to add in the source of this audio file, and when they click to submit the form, it's going to get that sound effect. The next thing we can do is go over to style.css, and I'll just talk about the important parts here. We have a body as the background color of gray. Our wrapper has a background color of white, and the overflow is hidden, so when we send that off the screen, it can't be seen anymore. Let's see here. Our form holder is floated to the left, but like I said, we're going to increase the margin left enough so it's going to be pushed off the screen and hidden so it can't be seen anymore. Get that animated effect. Our form has a background image. This is the male right there, and that is the same size as right here, so those sizes match up. And if we go down here, our inputs and our text area, basically they have the same styling here. And let's see what else we have here. Right, so when our contact form inputs, when they're in focus, we have this border and box shadow styling right here. So you can see that sort of subtle effect when we go into them. That gets a bit bigger. And they were rounded boxes to begin with, so we use outline in order to we use box shadow to keep that rounded effect, okay, rather than using outline, which would give us just a rectangle box. It wouldn't have rounded corners. If we go back to the styles here and we go down to the bottom, we have our contact form button here, our styles right there. And we can go over to that, and you'll see when I hover over it, we get a little border effect there. So when we hover over the button, we use this box shadow right here, and when the button is active, which means we're actually clicking down with our mouse, we adjust the box shadow a bit, and then we also adjust the top and left properties so that it has a 3D effect that it's getting pushed down. We can see that like so. And that's all I want to talk about in the CSS. We can go over to script.js right now. All of our jQuery is wrapped inside this document ready function. And the first thing we're doing is we're declaring some variables here. So form holder is set to form holder right here. And the reason we do that, this is jQuery variable caching. So this is an object right here, and whenever we reference this object right here, we have to go into our jQuery object, and we have to find this object within the jQuery object, and that's going to use a lot of resources. So we're only going to do this one time, and then we're going to store it in this local variable. So in the future, whenever we want to refer to this right here, we're just going to use our form holder variable right there. We're creating an empty variable here, form holder feedback, which is going to hold the feedback of whether our message was sent successfully or not. And underneath here we have our sound handle variable, and this is just regular JavaScript. document get element by ID whoosh, and then soundhound.src, and this is the path to that that sound file that played when the form was sent. Underneath that, we are referencing the submit class and the button child of it, and so basically, well, this is the submit button, and when somebody clicks on that, then we run this function here. And this function starts here and goes all the way down to here. So let's see what we do when that's clicked on. The first thing we're doing is we're declaring some variables, and we're getting the values that were put into all of those input fields. Okay, and then we are using jQuery's Ajax method, and this Ajax here is being passed in an object, and we have type set to post, URL set to the file where we're processing the email. So this is where the form is getting submitted to, and then the data we're passing in. So this is kind of, well, it's similar to like the get style. Anyways, the name, and then we're passing in the name here, which is right here, and then email is right here, message, okay, and so on. Okay, we're passing in, well, we're sending all of these post variables, and then we're binding on the success method here. So if this was sent successfully, then we are going to get the HTML back. So whatever the form this was sent to, the HTML that was output by this process contact form.php, we're going to get that, and we're going to store that HTML in the form holder feedback variable right here. But if it wasn't successful, then we're going to run this this error. This error is basically going to be true, and what's happening here is form holder feedback is being set to this error message. There was an error sending your message. I don't believe this error method right here, I don't think that needs HTML in there, but we'll test to see if that works or not. So after this Ajax request is done, we play the sound, and then we're going to animate the form. So form holder dot animate, and then inside this object we have margin left to 840 pix. That sends it off the screen. It's being done in 300 milliseconds. The animation type is swing, and we also have a callback function at the end of this animate, which is once it's finished, then formholder.css, we're setting the display to none, and then we're setting margin left to 0. So basically we're making it invisible, and we're setting margin left, that's putting it back to the left, and then with the we're setting the inner HTML here, and we're setting that to the form holder feedback, whether it was successful or not, and then finally we're going to fade it in slowly. So that's why we had to do display none here, is because in the end we're going to fade it back in. The last thing I want to look at is process contact form.php. So we can go over there now, and the first thing we're doing is if the post name and post email and post message variables were set, then this is going to return true, and then we're going to go down here and we're going to declare these variables, which is to, where we're sending this to, the subject, so message from the name, and then the email inside parentheses. Message is being set to the post message, and also the headers. So this is, when somebody receives an email, it's going to say this is from whoever. Okay. Then we're using PHP's mail function here to send it to the person, and this function is going to send the email, and it's going to return true or false based on whether the message was sent or not. So true or false is going to get returned right here. So if this is true, then we echo out your message has been sent, or else we're giving this message feedback there was a problem sending the message. So what we can do now is we can test the form. We can open it up here, and let's refresh here. So let's put some values in here. Just say hi there, and we'll send this. Okay, your message has been sent. So it said it's successful so far. And if we go over to my email here and refresh, nothing there. Oh, I know why this wasn't successful. This wasn't successful because we just did this on our localhost, but I also have a copy of this on my server, so we can go over there and we can fill it out here. And we can click send, and it gets the feedback, your message has been sent. And if we go over here, we'll see this is the email that just came in, and it was sent successfully. If I go over to my server here, let's just put this in the window here, and if I rename this one right here, let's just remove the P at the end there. Okay, so the old file doesn't exist, and we go back here. Let's refresh here, and let's try again, and we'll just add a 2 here, and let's click send. And we get the feedback there was an error sending your message. We see that in the script.js we find that error message right here. So basically it wasn't, this Ajax function right here wasn't successful. So we didn't return this one, and this error function right here, this was true. So we returned this error message right here. And this request, it didn't even get to, it obviously didn't get to process contact form.php. Because we renamed that file. So I think that's all I want to talk about for this one, and that is how to create an animated contact form with jQuery and PHP.